I wanted to be in a band. I think initially I saw Katarina Witt, the ice skater, skating to Bad by Michael Jackson, and something about that made me want to perform in a band. And I don't know why, because it's figure skating and it was like in the 80s. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And then listened to Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses. I thought, hey, maybe I can do this, and went and like tried to start a band with my friends. And there were already two guitarists, so I tried playing the bass. I think that ultimately I thought that this was just a fun thing that meant I would never have to do anything with any real responsibilities. So it's kind of funny that it's become the most responsible part of my life. I think I realized that Fall Out Boy was special initially right away when we showed up at Patrick's house, and it was me and Joe, and Patrick was supposed to play drums, and he entered the door and had on like shorts and an Argyle sweater or something. It was something bizarre, and I was like, wow, there's something interesting about this kid. We should probably be good friends. But then we started playing at, we played at like this place, the Metro in Chicago. It holds maybe like 1,100 kids or something, and we started getting these like reactions that were like near like mini riots, and I was like, wow, these kids are like singing louder than Patrick. But it felt like it was going to be like maybe a one-time thing, and then that it happened over and over again. I guess that was like the moment where it was like, whoa, this is like a thing that's maybe bigger than the four of us, which is kind of compelling. If it hadn't worked out, I think that, I played soccer my whole life and then went to college for that. And I went to college at DePaul University for 3 years, studying political science. My dad's a lawyer and his dad was a lawyer, so maybe I'd be a lawyer. But the only real job I ever really held was I worked at the concession stand at the pool and slung nacho cheese every summer. So, I probably would either be selling nachos or doing litigation of some kind. I'm the kind of person that feels nervous or anxious all the time. Like when I'm in Starbucks, I feel like I'm always about like 1 second away from coming completely off the rails when I'm ordering coffee, just because it just makes me real nervous. And we put out our new album, we put it on our website streaming. We streamed the full album the other day, and the night before I was just super stressed out. Like I just could not sleep. It's a lot of pressure, I think. Especially if people think that, it's not that people's reception like matters a ton, it's just that like art doesn't really become art until you give it away to someone else, and that's when it's decided what kind of art it is, because lots of times you can make a painting or whatever it is and you're like, oh, this is great, and then everyone looks at it and kind of doesn't agree. So yeah, it's nerve-wracking because I think people hold such a people were kind of like fanatic about us coming back, and we just didn't want to let people down. But I think at the end of the day, you just let people down, and some people don't get let down. What an uplifting answer. Yeah, I've thought that I wasn't going to make it back from a tour before. We were in... It's happened a couple times, to be honest with you. The time that I really remember it was we were in the southernmost region of Chile in South America, and we were trying to fly to Antarctica to be the first band to play on all 7 continents. And yeah, man, like it got real dark. We were in a hotel, and there was like 400 kids outside of the hotel, and I just found out that my son was gonna be born and stuff. Like it was just gnarly, and I just got this feeling in the pit of my stomach that like it was like this was the last one, kind of like that we weren't gonna come back. But I don't know. Yeah, that was a weird one. I feel like the most emotional that I've ever been on stage is in the recent shows that we played. Probably like the first show in Chicago. It just felt like it was the culmination of, we've been working on stuff for 1.5 years and nobody knew, and it just was like, it was relieving, but at the same time there was something that was cathartic about it. I feel like I just hadn't like really felt those feelings in a long time, so that felt good to let that out. My 15-year-old self, I think my 15-year-old self would definitely be like, damn, you didn't get any taller. Yeah, this is a hard one. I think on one hand, my 15-year-old self, his mind would kind of probably be blown that like I didn't end up following a traditional course and I wasn't playing soccer or doing something like that. But I think it would be exciting because the attempt of this band is to inspire other people, to inspire 15-year-olds to start bands and feel all right being a little weird, you know, and being kind of like the oddball, you know, or whatever. And I feel like if that's like kind of a mission accomplished, then like hopefully me as a 15-year-old would appreciate that. But I was pretty angsty and didn't like a whole lot of people in general. I also probably didn't think I was going to live another 15 years. Like 30 sounded ancient to me.